It's a rainy afternoon here in southwestern Virginia, but a top 10 matchup in Division III women's lacrosse as the second-ranked Bullets of Gettysburg College come to Lexington to take on the 9th-ranked Generals of Washington and Lee. We say hello and welcome to the Washington and Lee Sports Network here on the campus of Washington and Lee University in Lexington, Virginia. Thanks so much for joining us alongside Sean Lee. I'm Ryan Connell, and Sean, it is maybe not the best day outside, but certainly a great matchup on our hands between Gettysburg and W&L.
Yeah, no matter where these two women's lacrosse programs rank in the country, it's always a competitive one. They're always near, top 10, top 5 in the country every time they meet early in the season, and it's a great test for both of these teams to get themselves ready not only for conference play, but of course, they might see each other down the line in the national postseason as well. So it's always competitive, always good, as you say, Ryan. Not the best day, so maybe maybe a bit of a cagey start as teams both try to deal with the conditions, but should be a great watch from the neutral point of view. Always a very narrow margin that decides the winner in this one.
These two teams met last season. They split their two meetings. Washington and Lee won in overtime in the regular season at Gettysburg, and then the Bullets came here in the Sweet 16 and knocked off the Generals on their run to the national title game a season ago. Gettysburg 4-0, Washington and Lee 1-3 as you meet the starting lineups today. For Gettysburg, it's Jordan Basso, Julie Breveld, Julia Daly, Caroline Sullivan, Annie Nikolic, Lily McAtee, Ella Patterson, Emily Seymour, Emily Crane, Nora Crowther, Dylan Troy, and in goal, the senior number 40, Jillian Cortez. Cortez has started all 4 games this season, Sean. The only game she's played the full 60 minutes was the last time out against Catholic, but her goals against average this year just 4 and a save percentage of 60%.
Yeah, she's been playing really well, and she had a great season, last year, of course. I mean, you get to the national title game, you need a good goalie in there. But of course, this season kind of split in time with the backup, and you kind of see this earlier in the season. A lot of times teams will split their goalies half and half or something of that matter, and then kind of get more into let's say a normalcy with the goalie playing the entire 60 minutes later in the season. But of course, it's great to have competition within your goalies. Of course, Juliet Devarin is not just gonna take that benching lightly. Obviously, a very good goalie as a second choice there.
So for Washington and Lee, a very experienced starting lineup. Walker McKnight, Julia Thompson, Shannon Timoney, Jenny Taylor, Sophia Caffrey, Kat Caples, Libby Ford, Eugenie Ravenio, Allie Doyle, Alex Petrus, Hannah Bishop, and Caroline Cronick for the Generals, a team that has gotten off to a slower start to the year, just 1-3, but all 3 losses by only 3 goals or less to all nationally ranked teams.
Yeah, I mean, it's very fine margins. You look at the record, 1 win, 3 losses in men, you think this is a disaster start, but really you look at the stats, you look at the margins, and you can't really say that they've not been getting blown out by any of these nationally ranked teams. These are all very good women's lacrosse programs that they've been losing to. Obviously, you'd love to get the win, but it's early in the season, still plenty of time to make improvements on that. This, of course, being a golden opportunity for them.
So we'll step aside for the national anthem when we return. The opening draw between number 2 Gettysburg and number 9 Washington Lee right here on the Washington Lee Sports Network. Back here at Alston Parker Watt Field in the campus of Washington Lee University, getting set for the start of today's game between number 2 Gettysburg and number 9 Washington Lee. Ryan Collins, Sean Lee with you on the Washington Lee Sports Network. And Sean, I know we ran through the starting laps. Also, this matchup features a couple of second-year head coaches as well. Charlotte Hibbard for Gettysburg and Maddie Coleman for Washington Lee. Hibbard spent some time as an assistant coach at Gettysburg and finally got the reins of the program last season, took them all the way to the national championship game. And for Maddie Coleman, obviously returning here to Lexington where she grew up, but played her college lacrosse at Gettysburg, so a lot of overlap between the two programs here in the head coaching matchup. Yeah,
it's two coaches in their second year, as you say, but taking over programs that have had perennial success. And, there's a lot of pressure on the coaching staff, when you're stepping into that sort of role. You talk about Hibbard, who, getting to the national championship game. I'd say that's a pretty successful first year. And, of course, Coach Maddie Coleman, winning the ODAC, again, as Washington Lee have done, for the past, who knows how long. But getting to the national tournament and making it to the Sweet 16, only being defeated by Gettysburg, who, obviously were the national runner-up. So two programs who are used to having so much success on the national level, and these two coaches who are just kind of getting their feet wet. Obviously, they have a ton of experience as assistant coaches, but still something to look out for. These coaches, I think, still kind of working out what sort of philosophy they want to implement, what kind of changes they want to make from the previous coaching administration.
Last season, the regular season, W&L came back, won 10-9 in overtime on the road in Gettysburg. They scored 3 times in the final minute to come back and win that one. And then Gettysburg here in the Sweet 16 won by a score of 11-8, in which they kind of controlled really from the get-go on that one in their way to the national title game. W&L in the home white uniforms, blue numbers and letters. They'll go left to right here in the first, while Gettysburg in the visiting orange uniforms with blue numbers and letters. They'll go right to left here in the first. Kat Caples and Annie Nikolic getting ready for the draw. Get us going here on a very soggy Saturday afternoon. Opening draw will be controlled by Ravenio and W&L, as they will be first to work into the offensive end as Alex Petrus brings it forward. Nice steadier rainfall now as this game gets underway. It looked like things kind of seized down for a little bit during the end of warm-ups, but it is kicked right back up as this game gets underway.
Yeah, as soon as that first draw happened, the heavens opened up. Hopefully the drainage here at Watt Field can keep up.
Petrus with a roll to the net, and Alex Petrus opens the scoring for Washington and Lee.
Yeah, that's just a beautiful one-on-one move by Petrus. We'll see it here again. You see the drop of the shoulder to the inside, spins back left, and there's just no chance for Cortez to stop that point blank. It's exactly how Washington Lee wanted to start. A goal in the opening, 38 seconds and some change.
So 38 seconds in, Alex Petrus gets her 5th goal of the season for Washington and Lee. The Generals, they jumped out to a first half lead against Tufts. It was the second half in which the Jumbos had a stronger second 30 minutes, outscoring Washington and Lee in the second half in their last game by a score of 12-9 in the second half. This draw will be corralled by Caples after a couple players slipped and fell to the grass. So 2 draws, 2 wins for the Generals here to start. Shannon Timoney with it now. Pressured there by Reveld. She'll force the turnover and pick it up. Look to head the other way. Reveld looking for an angle. Will swim her way into the zone. Here's Julia Daly. Daly with some speed over the middle. Finds the back of the net.
Yeah, great way to respond for Gettysburg. Julia Daly, the Centennial Conference Rookie of the Year, set the Gettysburg program rookie record for goals with 60 last year, and there's that speed that makes her so good. Just cuts across the entire defense. 4 Generals, 5 Generals in the area, but still beating Chronic to, I believe, her right side there. And you've got 2 goals in the first 2.5 minutes. you thought we were going to see, I thought I was going to see a bit of a slower start on offense, a few turnovers, but I mean, we've only really seen one turnover from WNL, and that wasn't because of, it wasn't exactly unforced. It was just a good play by Julie Breedveld to get the possession for her team.
Sometimes you have to think that, yeah, it might be more of a defensive start to the game when it's a little sloppier, a little bit, unable to control some variables with the weather perhaps. But 2 goals, one for either side in the first, 90 seconds of today's contest has us at 1-1. That's the 9th goal of the year for Julia Daly. And as you mentioned, Sean, 60 goals a season ago. Had a lot of success in the NCAA tournament run for the Bullets last year, really playing as a good complement to Jordan Basso as the biggest contributor on offense.
Yeah, honorable mention, All-America in the preseason. So one of 4 All-American preseason selections on this squad. Basso, McAtee, and Sullivan all made the first team before the season started.
This is Caroline Sullivan with it now. She'll leave off for Breeveld. The outside it goes for Basso. Double team comes, she passes out of it. Sullivan back to Basso. Working to her left, dodges through, and puts it in the back of the net for the second Bullets goal of the afternoon.
Yeah, Basso's such a dynamic one-on-one player. You see, gets the return pass here and kind of hesitates, baits Doyle in, and then just sneaks right inside to the middle. Great shot from the slot. Again, unstoppable with the direction and pace on that one.
Jordan Basso now with her 19th goal of the year and what is the Bullets' 5th game of the season. Last year, 80 goals, 40 assists, and 120 points for the Bullets last season. She had 103 2 seasons ago, standing at now 265 career points. She needs about 40 more to become the all-time leading scorer in Gettysburg women's lacrosse history. So another draw here between Nikolic and Caples. Hop straight up and controlled by the Bullets.
Gettysburg really consolidating a lot of this possession, a lot of the draws now after the first couple that they lost. Really important defensive possession here for Washington and Lee.
Sullivan will leave off for Emily Crane. Sophie Showers out there as well for Gettysburg. This is Daly. Over the middle, her pass for Showers too high. Picked up by Caples. Here comes W&L from left to right. Caples has it knocked from behind. Daly forces the turnover. Dipping her way through some traffic and into the zone. And Gettysburg will recollect.
Yeah, I don't think Caples obviously didn't know Daly was trailing behind her. Really nice hustle by the sophomore, but I think if you're W&L, someone's got to tell Caples that, Daly's hot on her heels. Should have been a routine clear, but instead ended up being another possession for Gettysburg.
Crane here for Basso. She'll turn the corner down the middle. Cronic gets a piece of that one. The rebound comes right back out to the Bullets.
Yeah, Basso was able to just get past Ravenio as Ravenio was trying to switch, but Basso's got that speed to make switching more difficult.
There's a chance here for Ella Patterson. She'll pull it back out. Patterson with 30 seconds left on the possession clock. Down to her right over the middle. Knocked away. And it'll be awarded to Washington and Lee.
Yeah, so 2 back-to-back stops for W&L. Really important after Gettysburg were threatening to really just open the floodgates on them.
They've still only played 4.5 minutes. Plenty of action on either end. Caffrey has trouble with this one. She's pressured by Basso, but it will stay with W&L. Forward right at midfield. We'll work it ahead for Walker McKnight. Knight's pass stolen away. Emily Seymour on the defensive work that time for the Bullets. So you just mentioned Sean W&L with a couple of stops on the defensive end. Gettysburg forces another W&L turnover, and they get it right back. Here's Ella Patterson, the freshman from New Canaan, Connecticut, drawing her second start of the year. Gettysburg returns a lot of star power on attack and in the midfield. They lost a lot of their defensive work from last year to graduation, but a lot of returning cast up front. This pass gets away, intended for Crane. First there is Ravenio.
Yeah, smart play by Ravenio just to slow it down, get her midfielders into the zone. Washington Lee, though, I mean, aside from that first goal from Petrus, have not looked very good in the final third here. I mean, the last one was just really just an unforced turnover from McKnight as she just telegraphed the pass to Edwards. See what W&L can do now that they're kind of getting into the flow of thing and getting into their motion.
Petrus with nearly the same move. This time Cortez gets a stick to it. McAtee will pick it up. Gettysburg comes up with another stop.
I mean, as you say, Ryan, I think exactly the same move, really. Just the hesitation in the middle, rolling back outside. This time couldn't get the better of Cortez, who was ready for the low option.
The clear is completed by Dylan Troy, who passes off, and they'll retreat back to defense. 2-1 our score with 8 minutes to play here in the first. Gettysburg with the slight advantage. Sullivan for Basso. Basso misses the net.
Basso's going to want that one back. Just did everything right. Beat Doyle one-on-one. Got a great look at goal. Just got to test the goalie at least there.
This one to Breveld. She switches hands. Bounce shot misses wide. Another opportunity for the Bullets right on the doorstep. Daly across to the right. Lost it, but were controlled there by Showers. Daly with 8 to shoot. Her pass over the middle gets away. Bullets will just dump it into the corner, and that's a full defensive stand for W&L.
Yeah, I mean, they get W&L got away with 2 of them there. I mean, Basso, you know, if you thought anyone in Gettysburg roster was going to score that opportunity, you thought it was Basso, and then Breveld just missed another kind of like point-blank opportunity in a great shooting area.
There's Claire Horner out there for the first time today for W&L. She's got plenty of real estate. Horner's shot high and stopped by Cortez.
Yeah, Gettysburg not communicating well enough there. Just no one picks up the ball. Luckily, Horner's shot kind of stuffed at the point of release, so a relatively easy save for Cortez.
Reveld up ahead. So Gettysburg will settle it down and have a chance again here on offense, working with a 2-1 lead. Daly. Back up top for Sullivan. Eddie Broatright drawing the defensive assignment. Crane to her right. Forced to spin. Shot deflects as it comes to Chronic, and she'll settle it down.
Yeah, that's really good one-on-one defending from Betty Boatright. Forcing the offensive player to the tight angle, and Doyle able to get her stick in there to help out the sophomore defensively. W&L looking a lot better on defense as of late after those 2 goals conceded. Really very few defensive mistakes other than the one a couple possessions ago.
Here's Walker McKnight. Seems like on offense, the Generals have had a couple of quick shots, or they've gotten high percentage shots, just have not really been able to use much time on the possession clock, which has really forced them to play a lot of defense here in the first quarter. Bishop working along the goal line. Up top for Horner. She'll have it poked free. Thompson first there to scoop it up. Thompson lost it, but got it right back. Over the middle, it's Petrus on the dime from Hannah Bishop.
Yeah, and what a dime this was from Hannah Bishop. I was just about to say Washington and Lee looks like they're going one-on-one a lot, but here's Petrus. A great dodge into the crease, and Bishop just put it where only Petrus could get it. And that's not an easy finish at all. Can't really swing your stick back at all to be able to snap that over the head of the goalie. It's exactly what Petrus was able to do. 2 goals for Petrus, 2 goals for WNL.
2 goals for Petrus. This one assisted by Bishop. Her 4th assist of the season brings her to 220 career points. She now needs 19 more points to become the all-time leading scorer in WNL women's lacrosse history. Needs 9 more goals to become the all-time leading goal scorer as well.
Certainly on pace to reach those milestones. Hannah Bishop's been, a dynamite scorer ever since she's stepped onto the field as a member of the women's lacrosse program at WNL. Obviously a very important player so far this season, offensively speaking, despite this team's struggles in terms of winning and losing.
So WNL awarded the draw. Here's McKnight to her left. McKnight will circle around the crease. Bishop trying to go low. And we will get a yellow card issued. And that will come against number 23, Hannah Bishop.
Yeah, just kind of fired a blind shot behind her back and just right into the shin of a Gettysburg defender. So the officials going to rule that worthy of a yellow card. Can't really argue with that too much. Certainly Bishop had no complaints as she made her way over the sideline, and this is a big opportunity for Gettysburg just to be able to end this quarter on a high note and maybe retake this lead.
So a 2-2 game, 3:40 and change left here in the opening quarter, and Gettysburg a player up. Around the perimeter it goes for Patterson. She has her space closed off, and she goes hard. And so it'll be a free position opportunity for Ella Patterson.
See if she goes for goal here. Also got numbers on the weak side as well if she chooses that option.
Patterson will pass out for Sullivan. And closed off that time is Emily Crane.
Yeah, they'll just do the same thing again here. Didn't really get a better angle for this second free position shot. We'll see if they, again, decide to pass off and try to get into more of a central angle there.
Crane will go straight to the net. Crane will slot it past Cronick.
Yeah, good decision from Crane here. Just to be able to cut across Cronick and the rest of that WNL defense, who just couldn't keep up with her speed going directly into the middle.
28, Emily Crane.
So it'll be the 4th goal of the season for Emily Crane. Last season, 47 goals, 12 assists for 59 points in the midfield, and also had 31 draw controls last year. Just a very solid two-way midfielder for this Bullets program, and another one of those key returners up front. So Gettysburg retakes a 3-2 advantage with 3:17 left to play here in the first. There's a draw control win for the Bullets. Lily McAtee, the one to come away with it. Patterson will settle in and let Gettysburg take some shape here on offense. Patterson to the right. Shot goes wide. Daly through a lot of traffic, had it poked away from behind.
Yeah, great check there from Caples. Always difficult to do without kind of hitting the head of the attacker, but that's exactly what she was able to do there.
As from Caffrey to Thompson, caught her in between. Going to foul against the Bullets, which will keep it with W&L.
Yeah, I mean, W&L's going to keep possession, but that really should have just been an easy pass right in Thompson's stride there. I mean, that just really stopped the transition opportunity in its tracks, and Washington Lee now are going to have to set up. You know, it's going to be about a minute difference between the possession and the game clock, so still plenty of time for something else to happen after this possession as well.
Bishop down low. This is Emma Mart, or I should say Alex Petrus. Horner switches hands to her right, bounces one, and Cortez drops the stick to make the save.
Yeah, great save from Cortez. Read it all the way from Horner as well. Gettysburg really, it should be an absolutely no rush.
McAtee with plenty of time as she gets to midfield. Up to head for Basso. She'll recollect here as the Bullets will work it around.
Yeah, shot clock, or possession clock really just not a factor.
Just about a second or so differential. You can wind this down for pretty much as you want. Patterson, that just dropped right out of her stick. She'll scoop it up. Final 30 seconds of the first. Preveld. Had issues holding on to that one. Knocked away by Doyle, scooped up by Timoney. The Generals looking to push quickly. Here's Bishop. This one for Petrus. Less than 10 seconds to play in the quarter. A transition shot and a save by Cortez. She'll hold it to round out the first quarter as Gettysburg will take a 3-2 lead to the second.
Yeah, I think honestly a pretty good quarter from both of these teams. Obviously, I think Gettysburg will be happy both because they've got the lead and I think their offense has looked a little smoother. Washington and Lee, a good amount of mistakes in the offensive end to start off, and then also a few defensive errors that led to, well, pretty much all three of those goals. So still plenty of things to improve on for both teams, but I think a much cleaner start, Ryan, than I might have been expecting going into this one with all the rain and the conditions and all that.
So 3-2 our score. Number 2 Gettysburg in front of number 9 Washington Lee. After 15 minutes, we'll step aside and have the second quarter when we return on the Washington Lee Sports Network. Back here at Alston Parker Watt Field on the campus of Washington Lee University in Lexington, Virginia. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Washington Lee Sports Network. Alongside Sean Lee, I'm Ryan Connell. Our game today also featured on 12-Ounce Sports, grassroots sports with dedicated authors, show hosts, and live sports across North America at 12ouncesports.com. 3-2 our score after 15 minutes. Number 2, Gettysburg in front of number 9, Washington and Lee. It's been a good first 15 minutes in goal for Jillian Cortez. 4 saves in the opening 15 minutes for the senior goalie for Gettysburg.
Yeah, she's getting into a rhythm now. Had a really nice save against Claire Horner's shot. Claire Horner kind of faked high, shot low, but Cortez, not being fooled there, covered up the 5-hole really well. I think the 3 other saves were generally routine. I mean, they're saves that I think she expects herself to make, but I think the danger for Washington Lee is now, you talk about shooters getting into a rhythm. Well, goalies get into this same sort of rhythm, I think, if you kind of give them easy ones. And sometimes the goal can start looking smaller and smaller as the opposing goalie racks up the saves. See what Washington Lee can do here. They've had a lot of success. The first goal that they scored was Petrus's one-on-one move, but I think their second goal also came off of some great team play as well, with Bishop setting up Petrus in a really good area. So Washington Lee just needs some more ball movement here. Gettysburg, for their part, I think they're already doing a good job of really sharing the ball as the rain starts to pour down even harder now.
Caroline Foster and Annie Nikolic on the draw. Ravenio away with it. And she has it at least knocked free by McAtee, but eventually it will be force a clock stoppage, and we will see a card against McAtee. There'll be a green card against Lily McAtee. So a 60-second penalty against the junior defender. And as I was about to mention it, Sean, just before you did, it seemed like just like at the start of the game where the rain picked up right as the second quarter was getting ready to get underway. Same thing, the rain started to pick right back up. Ravenio will toss it in for Julia Thompson. So the Generals will have a brief opportunity here with an extra player on the offensive end. Thompson bumped in the double team, and then we'll get a stoppage. Still trying to get situated, and Sullivan will be asked to step to the other side. Timoney, one more pass here for McKnight. Bishop for cutting Edwards. Shot high. Here's Bishop, and that one sails.
Yeah, I mean, that might be the rain right there. Just slipping way early out of Bishop's stick.
Backside for Thompson, able to keep her momentum. Cortez stands tall in net.
Yeah, another decent save from Cortez. Not a spectacular save there from Cortez, but you've got to be there to make the stop, and you've got to have the reactions to get there as WNL is going to take possession.
McKnight with a breakaway. McKnight off the side of the post.
I think Cortez had a lot to do with that one as well. Great goalkeeping. Again, I think it deflected off of her onto the post. Even if she didn't get a touch to that, Cortez deserves something there.
So Showers up ahead for Gettysburg. Bullets will have a chance to set up offensively, working with the 3-2 lead. I think this is more of the game we anticipated, Sean. A tight one-goal game, maybe not that many goals through the first half. Take the game a little bit time to develop as that pass gets away. McKnight, first to it for WNL.
Yeah, even the most routine passes are going to become all the more difficult. Not only because of the rain, but as this game gets into sort of more clutch times.
So Petrus controls for WNL. Timoney around for Bishop. Bishop to the right. Cortez gets that with the body. Crowther stops right at midfield and will switch directions. We've held into the zone here for Gettysburg. Old scored their last goal with 3:17 to play in the first quarter. It was a player up and a free position goal from Emily Crane. They've only taken 8 shots. 4 of them have been on target. This pass over the middle is controlled by Basso off a hop. Basso.
Really important hold there from Basso.
Just a smart decision to navigate around the traffic. Daly for a cutter. Broken up that time by Timoney as it comes to Chronic.
Oh, wow. And
Like
Chronic just got away with that one there. Way too short, intended for Caples.
Nonetheless, a successful clear at the end of the day. Bishop will wait for a few other players to cycle in. Emma Marsh and Sophie Edwards each rotate in for WNL. Bishop just taking some time. Passes over for Marsh, and she'll draw a free position from 8 meters.
Yeah, one of the first times this game that Bishop's been able to really penetrate that fan and draw multiple defenders, finding the right pass to Marsh, who obviously will draw a free position chance here. See whether she decides to cut across.
She'll switch back to left. Her pass, or I should say shot goes high. McKnight catches it on the other end. But that pass is turned over. That's Dylan Troy, number 38 for Gettysburg, going in transition. Another stop by each team's defense here. And a goal for Gettysburg.
And every time Basso's had Doyle matched out on her, kind of on the empty side here, you see there's absolutely no help on the right side. So Basso just able to roam free, just diving down short side, able to beat Doyle. You know she's got the speed on her. Able to slot it in as Gettysburg doubles their lead.
That's the second goal of the day for Jordan Basso, 20th of the season for the senior captain from Ryan, New York. Basso in the last game for the Bullets against Catholic on Wednesday night, 7 goals and an assist for an 8-point night. Caroline Sullivan also had 3 goals and 3 helpers to lead the offensive charge. Gettysburg defeated Catholic 19-6 at home on Wednesday, and Catholic will come here to Lexington on Friday night.
Yeah, and one thing to note about the 4 games that Gettysburg has played so far, I mean, they've all not been close, right? The closest margin was their 3rd game on the 24th of February against Denison, which they won by 7 goals, which is, you know, not exactly a nail-biter in itself. So Gettysburg have not really been asked to play a down-to-the-wire game as of yet.
WNL will take control as there's some pushing on the draw control. Feel like you're starting to see the elements perhaps play a little bit more of a factor here in the second quarter. Those passes not being the crispness.
Yeah,
Team struggling to find really an offensive rhythm.
Yeah, I mean, especially, I think, a good number of turnovers. I think down to just what you mentioned there, Ryan. A lot of, the conditions.
There's Horner. Horse back for Bishop. Cut over the middle. It's Petrus, and she finds the top corner of the net. A laser from Alex Petrus, and she's got all 3 goals for Washington and Lee.
Yeah, I mean, Cortez has been wonderful to start this game, but that's just unsavable. Right into the top left corner. Plenty of pace on that as well. Petrus, she's been the one that the Generals have been able to go to for all 3 of their goals today. Gettysburg not being able to right now find an answer for number 20 in white.
So second assist for Hannah Bishop and as many goals for Petrus. So 3 goals for Petrus, 2 assists here for Bishop, and that has been what has driven the WNL offensive attack. Caroline Foster out for the draw for WNL. Venio first there for Washington and Lee. The Generals looking to build off. Here's Emma Marsh for the Generals. Petrus lost her balance over the middle. See what the call was there.
I think it was a foul for pushing the back by Annie Niklik there, called.
Okay, so that'll set up Petrus from straight away. 8-meter try here for Petrus, who's had the hot hand. Petrus straight in and finds the top corner. 4 first-half goals for Alex Petrus. Has knotted this game at 4.
Don't think Gettysburg was very happy with that call against Nikolic, but aside from that, I mean, Petrus is just in one of those zones right now. Can't seem to miss at this point. Number 20 in white, definitely the focal point right now for both teams going forward.
So each team will rotate in a few other players here. 7:33 to play still in the second quarter. Well, the second has been controlled by the Generals for the most part. Well, there's only been 3 combined goals. A lot of the play has been in the Gettysburg defensive end, and when Gettysburg has had offensive opportunities outside that goal from Basso, they have not really been able to convert much. There's been a few turnovers as well, and it's allowed WNL to tie this game at 4.
Yeah, WNL, a squad that really defends, kind of as a unit. You've got that headliner defensively in Revenio, but, no defender can do it all herself. You've got to have a decent unit around you.
And a turnover again for Gettysburg, their 10th of the day.
Yeah, I mean, turnovers really piling up right now as we see another one here.
This one coming from Washington and Lee. They give it right back.
This is a really important possession here for Gettysburg. I mean, I know they're not exactly down by anything. The score is tied, but you've not looked very good offensively or defensively to start out this second quarter. So, other than that goal from Basso, of course, so just being able to calm everyone down, run your motion, run your sets, and hopefully get some good looks at goal is going to be really important here in the next 60 seconds.
Basso close to the crease, forced back. Crane had trouble handling it. She'll skip it to the far side of the field for Megan Crane. Over the middle, Breveld. Here's Sullivan. That pass intercepted by Allie Doyle.
Yeah, I mean, that's good to...
And the Generals give it right back. But they'll say a foul against Gettysburg will keep it with W&L.
Oh yeah, I mean another not great pass from Chronic there that almost gave Gettysburg another possession. But I was just about to say Doyle with a good interception there, but that pass was just one that really doesn't need to be made. I mean, it was telegraphed and I think forced. Even if Doyle wasn't expecting it, she was going to get across to get that ball.
Kira Smith double teamed on the near side, trying to get it back over for Doyle. Generals just trying to move this ball forward. Taylor, pass a little high. Horner just able to scoop it up right in front of her own bench and toss it ahead for Petrus. Here's Timoney to the left, finds the top corner.
Finish. Not sure how she was able to fit that in at such a tight angle. We'll see it again.
So Timoney drives back to her left. Just kind of took a little off that one, Sean. Just dropped it in the far corner.
Bit of finesse. Cortez, I think, was ready for kind of the short side effort, maybe a little low, just fast under the crossbar. But Timoney, very clever shot there to take the lead for Washington and Lee.
The Generals have the lead for the first time today with 4:57 to play here in the second quarter, 5-4. And the first person not named Alex Petrus to find the back of the net for the blue and white. And Shannon Timoney gets her 5th goal of the season. Ikulik and Foster again set for the draw. Ravenio able to get the positioning to scoop it up, but her pass to Bishop cannot be completed. You talked about the last possession for the Bullets being critical offensively. Just haven't gotten the highest percentage of looks the last few times down on the offensive end. This one bobbled around and regained by Sullivan.
Really just got to get Basso involved a little more here. She's the one that's looked the most dangerous for your team, especially one-on-one.
Here she is for a pass over the middle for Showers. Chronic got a piece to that. A loose ball is finally controlled by Allie Doyle.
Yeah, Showers got to have that one, but Chronic just makes herself big there, comes out of her crease just enough to give Showers no other option, just to fire it straight into her body.
And Ford is closed off, and we will get a card coming. It'll be a green card against number 9, Julia Daly.
Yeah, I think a bit of frustration there. And I mean, not only Daly, but Gettysburg generally. But that card, just one that you really do not need to take in that sort of area.
So a green card on number 9, Julia Daly, will give Washington at least 60 seconds with an extra player. Edwards up ahead for Marsh. Here's Julia Thompson, who's been quiet so far today. McKnight. Around it comes Petrus over the middle for Edwards. Pass too high. Makes its way to McKnight. Here's Thompson. And Julia Thompson will draw a free position chance. He's slightly off to the right. Thompson passes out. This one comes to Petrus. Only a few more seconds left on the green card to Daly, as Bishop has trouble with that one. Gettysburg is back to full strength.
Yeah, great effort there from Bishop just to keep possession.
Marsh for Petrus. Forced to circle back. Here's Bishop driving to the left. Across the crease for the goal.
That's where Bishop's the most dangerous. When you just give her this long of a running start, you know, she might not be the fastest player on the field, but once she gets downhill, she's hard to stop, and obviously she's got that power behind her shot. You know, it doesn't exactly place it into one of the corners, but I mean, that shot has so much pace on it that Cortez can't get her stick across to save it from going in. Second quarter has been all Washington and Lee so far.
So Gettysburg will utilize a timeout here with 2:17 to play in the second quarter. 6-4 our score. Number 9 Washington Lee up on number 2 Gettysburg, as Hannah Bishop has her 10th goal of this season. She now needs just 8 more goals to become the all-time leading goal scorer in WNL women's lacrosse history. She now is in standalone second place with 175 career goals.
Yeah, and Hannah Bishop, you know, a lot of times sort of earlier, I think this year we're seeing her, you know, I mean, the assist numbers, they kind of speak for themselves. She's got 4 assists so far, and I think in past years a lot, she was, you know, the primary scoring option. She was the one getting a lot of those assists, but, you know, that was like freshman, sophomore, and then last year you saw her kind of be able to share the ball a little more, get into the flow of the offense. It wasn't always just, you know, give Hannah Bishop the ball and get out of the way as it was sometimes before. Now with the loss of Ali Schwab to graduation, for example, in that attack, she has more of a focal point in that attack, but so does all the rest of the attackers. And, you know, she has a couple assists to Petrus now. She had that one-on-one, so doing it all right now is Hannah Bishop.
The Generals have used a strong second quarter, outscoring the Bullets 4-1, as they have now a 2-goal cushion for the first time today, with 2:17 to play before halftime.
I think it's a good timeout here from Gettysburg and Coach Hibbert, because you could kind of sense this game really just slipping away from them. You know, now a 2-goal lead, but, you know, put the lead aside. It's just Gettysburg simply have not been able to get anything going on the offensive end. And defensively, WNL have been able to really make lives hard for them, whether it's one-on-one, but also the ball movement has been really good to create some of these goals as well. So Gettysburg, you know, not sure you need to make drastic improvements. Obviously, you've got halftime, plenty of time to talk about any more wholesale changes. I think right now it's just to try to string together some successful passes, some successful offensive motions. Even if you're not able to get the goal, just being more process-oriented and being able to get those good processes down is going to be important in the next 2:17 for Gettysburg, you know, whether they win or lose this draw, really.
It'll be Foster and Nikolic again meeting for the draw as we're ready to continue here. WNL has taken a 2-goal lead. A foul against the Bullets will cede possession right to Washington and Lee.
Staying connected to the assignments here. Whether you're going to switch, whether you're going to stay, you've just got to be able to do it as a team. Gettysburg have, I think, been miscommunicating a lot in a couple of defensive possessions.
Marsh feeds Boatwright over the middle. And Boatwright with a great recollection to find the back of the net.
Yeah, I mean, just as you say, Ryan, I have no idea how Boatwright caught that pass, and I have no idea how Marsh was able to get this pass through. I mean, just right under the stick there. I think that was Sullivan defending. It might have been somebody else, but Boatwright, really nice hand-eye coordination just to be able to snag it. And the patience from Boatwright as well, not just snapping it straight to the goaltender, but knowing that she's got the time, even just a foot away from the cage, to be able to find the open space.
She caught that one kind of cross-handed, like with her top hand, like reversed, and had to enough wherewithal not only to catch that, but also to have enough time to straighten up and get a shot off before even getting close to stepping into the crease as Betty Boatwright gets her third goal of the season. Emma Marsh picks up the assists. And just like that, the Generalist strong second quarter continues.
Yeah, and I'm not sure there. I mean, Boatwright with a great dodge, or just right into the danger area, which is what you're supposed to do. But I'm not sure if Sullivan thought someone was going to switch onto it, or if she was the one supposed to switch onto Boatwright there. More defensive miscommunication from the Bullets.
Couple of collisions, one that sends McKnight down for the Generals. But Gettysburg will bring it ahead. So the Bullets, just about 13 seconds or so between the possession clock and the game clock here. Just trying to find some positives here in the second quarter to take into halftime. Basso, a dodge back to the left. It looked like that one might have just trickled wide.
Yeah.
This pass sails away, and the Generals will take back possession with 45 seconds left.
Boy, Basso, I mean, looking for a third goal there, and really should have done better with that one. I mean, Chronic did a pretty good job of closing down the angle, but you really thought Basso was going to be able to finish that one and get her hat trick.
Boatwright through the traffic. This ball knocked away. Breveld comes away with it. Looks to try and get a pass off. It comes to Sullivan. 20 seconds to play here in the first half.
Generals, though, doing a nice job of getting bodies back to thwart that transition opportunity.
Final 10 seconds here in the second quarter. Gettysburg going to have to move quick. Sullivan with 3. Sullivan has it taken away, but there will be a clock, but that will take us to halftime.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great check from Emma Marsh. Basso and Sullivan not happy with the official for the no call there. And I don't think whatever the official's telling Basso is going to make her any less angry. But, you know, aside from that, going into this second half, Washington and Lee, just a really great second quarter. The mistakes they were making in the first, not plaguing them in the second quarter. And I think it's been the opposite for Gettysburg. Those mistakes that were plaguing Washington and Lee have been plaguing Gettysburg in this second 15. Defensive, you know, disorganization, not communicating well enough, and of course, a large number of turnovers offensively, just making things really difficult for Gettysburg in that second 15. A lot to improve on for both teams, of course, as we get into the second 30.
Number 9, Washington Lee, up on number 2, Gettysburg, 7-4 at halftime. We'll go through the first half stats, get you ready for the third and fourth quarters when we return on the Washington and Lee Sports Network.
A pre-professional program is really valuable to a liberal arts curriculum. It adds the breadth of what students can actually learn and can actually take in terms of classes. It's really, really common that students merge different fields. All my advisees are majoring in accounting, but I'm going to say about 80% of my advisees are double majoring or minoring in something else. Majoring in computer science along with accounting, minoring in poverty studies.
Business administration and theater, even though they're very different, I want to work very much in the intersection of the two. I want to work in the business side of theater. There are still people who are running the numbers on finances when theater shows go up and who are doing the marketing.
I'm on the pre-health track here, going to be applying to med school in a couple of years. My poverty studies minor has been very impactful. I've been able to take lots of different classes to help me learn about, you know, people that I might be serving in the future.
I came in thinking I wanted to do business and ended up double majoring in economics and environmental economics after having a bunch of different experiences throughout those different courses.
Business journalism is a combination of the core journalism program where we teach people how to become reporters and editors and producers. I think a journalism program dovetails nicely with the broad liberal arts curriculum.
For example, I have a lot of students that are interested in environmental journalism. And so I get students from the journalism program coming to environmental classes to learn more about that so that they can take that forward in their careers.
There's just so many opportunities on campus that directly translate to receiving opportunities off campus.
we are preparing people to go to work immediately. Our graduates do very well in the workplace.
Field on the campus of Washington and Lee University here in Lexington, Virginia. Our score at the half between number 2 Gettysburg and number 9 Washington and Lee. It's the hometown Generals 7 and the visiting Bullets 4. Ryan Connell and Sean Lee with you on the Washington and Lee Sports Network as we took a look at some of the first half shots. The first half stats. Some of the stats that stand out, Sean, are that the Generals have outshot the Bullets. Julian Cortez has made 7 saves in net for Gettysburg, but the Bullets have also turned it over nearly twice as much as the Generals.
Yeah, and I think turnovers is the main thing here that, well, I think it's one of the reasons that Gettysburg aren't having success on the offensive end. I mean, certainly it's the biggest one when it's going to sound pretty obvious, but when you turn the ball over 6 more times and give 6 more possessions to the opposing team, it's really difficult to cut into leads and actually be leading. But I think on the defensive end, really, it's more than that. You know, what doesn't show up on the stat sheet is sort of, missed rotations, missed slides, missed, assignments, and otherwise sort of, subpar defending. And I think that's, unfortunately, that's what we've seen for the Bullets. Not really in the first quarter. I thought they were pretty good in the first quarter, especially defending as a team and one-on-one. But in that second quarter, I think, something just happened where the Generals were just able to have a lot more success moving the ball and just getting into those really dangerous spaces inside of 8 meters. So, I think that's going to be the main thing for Gettysburg to improve on in this half.
A draw control win to start the second half for the Generals. Ravenio nearly lost it. Our only play was just to scoop it over for Doyle, and the Generals will work it to the near side here.
I've hardly seen like a clean catch, a clean pass. A lot of times you see these players just dropping the ball. A little less rain to start off this quarter, Ryan, so maybe we'll see less of that as this game goes along.
Surely still a little bit in the background, but not as obvious as either the first and second quarters, where it was really torrential downpour to start each of the first 2 quarters. Here's McKnight for the Generals early in the third. Thompson lost it from behind. Sullivan forcing the turnover there defensively. And she's the one to come away with it as well.
Yeah, but usually when I talk about it not raining, it starts raining, so.
Sean, I can just remember the game we did 2 springs ago when Washington Lee played Williams in women's lacrosse. And it was early March as a chance here for the Bullets. Bounces in, and that is from Ella Patterson. So the Bullets get a goal early in the third.
Yeah, I'll have to see this one again. Not sure how this found the back of the cage. It was just a bounce shot that just got the better of Chronic, who just couldn't read it off the bounce.
It landed just before the edge of the crease and skipped back up and in. So that's Patterson's second goal of the season for the freshman from New Canaan, Connecticut. And the Bullets have cut this right down to a 2-goal lead, just over a minute into the third.
Yeah, this is just the start they needed. Gettysburg forced a turnover defensively and then go right down and score. Cut this lead, down to 2. But the draws have been pretty much all Washington and Lee. Despite that, Gettysburg able to get the first goal of the second half.
This one caroms around at the feet of Foster. It deflects once more and is controlled by McAtee. So the Bullets back to work on offense. Daly got right across the entire defense. She finds Basso. Trying to duck away from a defender. Back to Sullivan it comes. Crane down low, Daly. A lot of ball movement here from the Bullets. Crane, extra pass over the middle for Breveld. Couldn't hold on to it. Timoney stays with it. She races ahead.
Yeah, it was decent ball movement for Gettysburg, but it was all around the perimeter. No real passes going into the middle of that fan.
McAtee slaps that away, and Nikolic picks it up. Here's a breakout for Daly. Pursuit from behind. Daly finds the back of the net. A transition chance for Gettysburg, and Julia Daly beats Chronic to the far post.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great finish from Daly.
And just like that, it's a 7-6 game. So second goal of the day for Julia Daly, her 10th of the season, and 7-6 with 12:17 to play in the third.
Number 9, Julia Daly. Assist to number 20, Annie Nikolic.
Off the draw, scramble after it, and McAtee ducks through. Some stick checks to hold on to it.
Yeah, could not have asked for a better start if you're Gettysburg right now to the second half.
Sullivan for Basso. She'll make a run to the crease and slot it home. 3 early goals for Gettysburg to start the second half, and they've tied this game at 7.
And where Basso's had success today is just in positions like this. Matched up one-on-one with a matchup that you like. You've got all the help to the defender's right side. So you just go down the defender's left where there's just absolutely nobody and just find the face of the goal. Just open up the angle and slot it in.
Basso gets the hat trick, 21st goal of the season. And about 3 goals in the first 3 minutes and 6 seconds of the third quarter for Gettysburg. They have flipped the script and tied this game at 7. Generals outscored the Bullets 5-1 in the second quarter. It has been a fast start in the third here for Gettysburg. Foster away with it for Washington and Lee as they control. Ford's pass knocked down. Daly, the one to break it up. Ravenio slaps it away from behind, and that will give it back to W&L on a foul.
Yeah, but there you see, I mean, Ford, no real reason to play this pass. Caples was just wide open on this right side. The game getting really frantic for now for W&L.
And the turnover gives it right back to Gettysburg. This is Showers. Sullivan. Wide on the offensive side of things. No points for Caroline Sullivan. First team All-American a season ago. Last season, 91 points in the midfield for Gettysburg. Crane off to her right. Out in front, Daly stopped by Chronic. Marsh weaves her way ahead. So W&L really gets their first true chance in the third quarter on offense. First 5 minutes have been played really either in the neutral zone or in their defensive end. Not much pressure here in the offensive side of things to start the second half. Thompson for McKnight. Up top, Bishop. In front, Edwards. It's off the post.
Yeah, beat Cortez, but not the crossbar. Really great look. More grid ball movement and a nice incisive pass from Bishop again. Looking for yet another assist, not to be.
Basso. Calls a big crowd, passes out of it. Crane. Lost it on her way over the middle. Comes right back to Basso. Showers. And Chronic drops the stick to make the save. Ford will bring it up for the Generals. Aples trying to weave her way through the midfield. She'll leave off for McKnight. Bishop behind the cage. Here's McKnight. Timoney through a lot of traffic. And it'll be against the Generals. So Gettysburg takes back possession halfway through the third quarter. Basso looking to create. Makes a roll to the crease. Doyle, a stick to it, but a foul.
Yeah, I mean, she got Basso's stick, but, I mean, had to go basically around her head to get that check in there.
Sets up Jordan Basso from 8 meters. And a false start against Basso. Gives it right back to the Generals.
That was the last thing I was expecting from that play.
Petrus can't handle the pass cleanly, does recollect. You mentioned it before, Sean, about maybe as this game goes, obviously the weather was going to have some factor on some of the things, but as the game tightens, just the extra, necessity of completing some of those passes and perhaps the game getting sloppier because of it as it goes. Certainly here in the third quarter, it has not been the cleanest for either side. Thompson. Here's McKnight on a stop and go. And she finds the back of the net.
I mean, this is the first good possession we've seen for W&L in the third quarter. Able to move around the perimeter. You see Gettysburg just leaving McKnight one-on-one. Go away from the help, dive back inside, and just slot it in. The slide not coming early enough, because they're just choosing to leave the attacker behind the cage just completely unmarked. And advantage of that is you're able to have another defender to slide over to the ball in case someone gets beat. That time, the slide just didn't happen.
So Walker McKnight picks up her first goal of the day, 9th of the season for the senior from Nashville, where he gives the Generals the 8-7 lead with 6:09 to play here in the third. So with 6:09 left, Another draw control. And another win for Gettysburg here in the third.
Yeah, no need to panic if you're Gettysburg here. Yeah, you weren't able to take the lead, but your offense has looked very good. I mean, the last possession, not so much, but no real need to change things up here. Your ball movement's been good. Just the question is, are you able to find that incisive run, that incisive pass into the middle? A lot of these passes have been mostly around the perimeter.
Patterson being only forced back here by Caples. Around the perimeter for Showers. 30 seconds left on the possession clock for the Bullets. Basso being forced back by Boatwright.
And when Basso goes to the left, she's going into the teeth of that defense. There's 3-4 generals in line.
This one over the middle. Breveld shot misses the net.
Koenig didn't touch that, so no reset.
Bullets have just a few seconds left on the possession clock, and they'll opt to just dump it into the corner.
Yeah, so they finally do get that incisive pass with just a few seconds left on the possession clock, but Breveld unable to find the target. Washington looking good, forcing Basso to that help defense. It's going to be a point of emphasis as they go on through the rest of the third and into the fourth quarter.
Bishop. Pressured out on the perimeter by Nikolic. Out in front, Boatwright tries to slap at it. Second effort is in. First one was stopped. Second one came right back to her.
Yeah, look at how this starts. Gets the roll, gets the second defender, and just, a lot of miscommunication on the weak side. There's no reason Boatwright should be able to get right in front of Cortez there. I can't really see who the defender was that lost her marker, but Boatwright able to just, the fact that she was able to miss the shot and get the rebound and put it back in just goes to show how much space she should not have had on that occasion as they double their lead.
Boatwright gets her second goal of the game, fourth of the season. That's been 2 goals for Boatwright on plays right in front of the net. Just driving hard to the cage and getting some opportunities out front.
Yeah, she's not exactly the smallest one on the field, so I'm not sure how she's sneaking by all of these defenders, just camping out right in front of the crease. That's how both her goals have come, though.
And on that one specifically, after the first shot stopped, making sure she didn't step in the crease as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. On that play, you see, as I think Caples was out there. I don't bench is beside themselves with that call, but on that play, you see when Bishop rolls there, you've got the free defender inside the middle of that fan that has to slide over. And I think that's sort of, the fact that you have that free defender inside the middle of that 8-meter area kind of takes the load off of the defense, because even if you get beat, there's going to be someone there. Well, not if that defender has to slide over, of course, which has happened on multiple occasions.
Another Gettysburg turnover on the far side. It's their 18th of the day. 3 minutes left to play here in the third quarter. W&L up by 2, 9-7. Stick check work from behind. Opted up, but stays right with the Generals.
That's a great check from McKnight to be able to regain possession after Ravenna had it taken away. Just got to keep an eye on how well Gettysburg slides here. If W&L are able to, for example, McKnight with the ball, if she's able to beat her defender, can Gettysburg stay attached and stay in coordination with each other?
Marsh pressured by a couple of defenders. Thompson over the middle. Shot misses. This one for a cutting Horner. And she stepped in the crease.
Yeah, Horner's going to want that one back. I mean, she was wide open. Great dodge into the middle, but unable to handle it cleanly.
It's going to be one of those tough days to stop on a dime on a cut to the net as well.
Yeah, it's tough technique. I mean, even if you do catch that ball, you've got to, somehow be able to find the quick enough release to beat the keeper. Great takeaway from McKnight there.
So McKnight with the takeaway. 2-on-2 with Thompson if she hurries, but she'll pull it into the corner. Utilize some time.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a physical game. WNL not happy with that push in the back, but I mean, we've seen it all day, even from WNL as well. I think the officials are being relatively consistent in how they call and don't call this game.
Thompson backside for McKnight. She'll get the return. Bishop rolls around and scores. A textbook Hannah Bishop goal on a strong play to the net. And she gets her second goal of the afternoon.
Yeah, just to say that, Ryan. I mean, she loves this move, doesn't she? Right to the short side and no help on that side. It's a great, smart move from Bishop to know she's going to have that space. I mean, it's not been the first time that Washington only have scored from that sort of position. Bishop's done it a couple times. Obviously, Petra started this game with a couple moves like that. I think if you're Gettysburg, do you start thinking about just sending a second defender in that area?
10-7, Washington and Lee. They had a 3-goal lead at halftime. They have pushed the lead back up to 3 after Gettysburg scored the first 3 goals here in the third quarter. Now with 57.9 seconds left, the Generals lead 10-7.
It's like in the first few minutes, it was a wake-up call for WNL, just to focus back up defensively and offensively.
Daly working below the goal line. Now for Gettysburg, you worked hard to tie the game back up early in the third quarter in the first about 3 minutes, and now it has slipped right back to where it was at halftime as things have gone awry on the offensive end. 20 seconds and counting here left in the third. Basso working against Ravenio, and Ravenio is whistled for the foul.
Yeah, honestly, not a bad foul by Ravenio there. You do give up the free position shot, which you never want to do, but it is at a pretty tight angle, and you thought Basso was just going to be able to get another point-blank opportunity.
So Basso cuts right in, has it poked from behind. Like Sophia Caffrey got to stick to that one first. And the Generals will wind out the clock here in the third.
Turned out to be a very good foul from Ravenio in the end.
So WNL will take a 3-goal lead to the fourth, 10-7. Number 9, Washington Lee up on number 2, Gettysburg, when we return on the Washington and Lee Sports Network. Start of the fourth quarter here at Austin Parker Watt Field on campus of Washington and Lee University here in Lexington, Virginia. It's been a little rainy and soggy, to put it lightly, this afternoon, but that has not really knocked the play on the field. Still a top 10 matchup in Division III women's lacrosse, and it has been a very balanced game. Gettysburg led early after one. It was 3-2 Bullets. The Generals put 5 goals up in the second quarter to take a 7-4 lead to halftime. Gettysburg scored the first 3 goals coming out of the half in the first 3 minutes to tie it at 7, but the Generals ended the quarter on a 3-0 run over the last 6 minutes to go back up to 3 goals, and that's where we stand right now. WNL 10, Gettysburg 7. Ryan Connell and Sean Lee with you on the Washington and Lee Sports Network. And Sean, as much as it seemed like Gettysburg clawed right back into the game, at the start of the third quarter, it seemed like things started to slip away again as that quarter unveiled.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like Washington and Lee were getting a little complacent coming out of halftime. And then those 3 goals, as soon as those go in, all of a sudden you say to yourself, oh, wow, I mean, it's still a really competitive game. It's a really good team. And there's going to be runs like this. Who knows, maybe the Bullets put together a run and make life hard again for the Generals, just as they did in the third quarter. But yeah, as you say, Ryan, it just seemed like Gettysburg, were just off to a flying start, and you thought they were going to put 4 more goals on the Generals, but Washington Lee able to recuperate and retake the lead by 3 goals. And that's got to be a bit demoralizing if you're Gettysburg. I mean, you work so hard, you do everything right in the first few minutes, erase the lead, and then 15 minutes later you're back to square one. But plenty of time, of course. If you can score 3 goals in the first 2 minutes, well, there's no reason you can't do it in the next 15 either.
There's been 34 combined turnovers in today's game, 20 for the Bullets, 14 for the Generals, and that's been one of the bigger storylines as well, obviously, along with the weather, is that some of the play at times has been a tad sloppy. Just the final connection on some passes has not been there for either side. The Generals win the draw, but they
you
turn it right back over.
Yeah, that pass right there. It's not only the conditions, I say, right? I mean, Gettysburg, a very aggressive team on the ball, as we've seen. Washington Lee also pretty aggressive, so that's leading to a lot of turnovers, especially on plays you'd really deem routine, but sometimes just slips out of the stick. You kind of get distracted with the defender's stick near your face, so that's the reason for a lot of the high turnover numbers. I mean, WNL winning the turnover battle, but they still have 15 turnovers.
Here's Caroline Sullivan, who has not really done much on the offensive end. No points today.
Yeah, Julia Thompson, also for Washington Lee. Another midfielder has been quiet. Oh, man.
A wide open opportunity for Emily Crane, and that one just sailed over the crossbar.
Yeah, I mean, that's, as you say, right, just nobody in front of her to mark her. Gotta make it count.
Venio and Ford combined to force that turnover on the Bullets. Caffrey in transition, up ahead for Thompson. Bishop will control behind the net for the Generals. 2 goals and 2 assists for Hannah Bishop. 4 first-half goals for Alex Petris for the Generals. Here she is now. Back out for Marsh. McKnight finds Thompson. Generals will work it around to Bishop. Bishop back to the right and finds the angle.
Wow, what a shot. Take a look at this again. Look at the shoulder fake here. Roll's not there, roll's not there. Then on the third time, she just flips it over her left shoulder. That is a difficult shot to take. I mean, let alone getting a release at the net, but putting it past the goaltender.
It's a 5-point day for Bishop. 3 goals, 2 assists. Takes her season total now to 17 points. That's her 12th goal of the year. And now just stands 5 goals away from matching the all-time leading scorer in WNL women's lacrosse history, and 6 goals from becoming #1 on the career goals list. Let's draw control. They'll stay with Washington and Lee, and with this 4-goal advantage, their largest lead of the afternoon.
Sure, Washington and Lee, I mean, you hold all the cards right now. No need to take any, sort of risks that might result in transition opportunities. Just get the offense moving, get some good looks. See Timony looking over at our coaches to see what the plan is. You'd have to think that WNL are going to be in no rush in any of these possessions as long as this 4-3 2-goal lead stands.
Thompson dumps down to Petrus. Horner, they'll just kick it over for McKnight. On the return, bobbled and lost. McAtee first there for Gettysburg. Sullivan driving hard to the right. Her shot right into the stick of Chronic.
Yeah, I mean, Chronic barely had to move for that one. Sullivan, I think she's been a little frustrated today, not seeing the amount of shooting opportunities she usually does.
This one knocked down by Basso. Her pass for Daly struggled to get there, but it did in the end. And Daly is denied on the doorstep by Chronic.
Washington and Lee have had a number of turnovers just trying to clear out of their defensive zone, and a lot of near turnovers as well, that time for the guilty party. Gonna get away with that one, though, thanks to a kind of an errant pass from Basso to Daly, and then a decent save from her goaltender as well, one-on-one. Big save from Chronic.
Chronic made a nice stop, and then Daly really kind of seemed like she never fully had possession of that one. Just figured she had to get a shot off because she was so close to the goal, but
yeah, she was off balance. I think
had really no control.
I mean, she almost crashed right into Chronic as well. I mean, had the coordination enough to kind of slow up, but took a bit of power off that shot too.
Here's Horner over the middle, and that was blown dead. We'll see if we get some confirmation since she did shoot. But it seemed like that the whistle blew well before a shot attempt.
Yeah, I mean, the whistle came very early on that one. It seemed like as soon as Horner caught it, the officials were going to blow the whistle. This is a very good angle for this shot, though. Would be surprised for any choice other than a shot directly on the net.
Horner from straight on. And she finds the back of the net. The Generals' surge continues here in the second half. That's 5 straight goals for Washington and Lee, and they lead by 5, 12-7 with 10:13 to play.
Yeah, ball don't lie, I guess. I mean, Horner has the entire cage to aim at and picks the lower right corner. Picked right in the end. I mean, from that sort of distance, as long as you don't throw it straight at the goaltender, a lot of times you're going to be able to score. Just placement's the important thing, and Horner got it right.
So Claire Horner gets her first goal of the day, 3rd of the season. With 10:13 to go, Gettysburg staring and now a 5-goal deficit.
Yeah, not out of reach by any means just yet.
Ravenio away with the draw for the Generals. Foul against the Bullets. Will keep it with WNL. It seems like the Bullets have lost their good play on the draw that they had at parts in the 3rd quarter, which really kind of helped spark them back into the game to start the second half. That has gone away as this game has developed. Timony for Bishop. Petrus. All the way around for McKnight. Thompson weaves in, and Julia Thompson has another. 6 straight Generals goals. It's 13-7.
Floodgates have really opened. I mean, for everyone, I was just about to say Thompson hasn't had a lot of good opportunities here today, but they're just, I mean, licking her chops. She had the entire, I mean, she had an acre of space to run into before she engaged with the defender. And she's got the speed, she's got the technique to make the most of it. The first real chance she's had, but she makes the most of it. Really nicely done for one of the most dangerous scorers on this Generals roster, who has been kept in check for throughout this game, except on that occasion.
15th goal of the season for Julia Thompson, as the Generals' leading scorer this season with 18 points, but her first of the afternoon. Gettysburg will use a timeout here with 9:01 to play. It's been 6 straight goals by Washington Lee. The Bullets last scored at 11:54 to play in the third. They scored 3 times in the first 3 minutes and 6 seconds of the third quarter. It was a 7-7 game. The Generals retook the lead at 6:09 to play in the third, and since then they have scored to make this a 13-7 game.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, you mentioned this like about a minute ago, Ryan, but it's just tough when you're just getting dominated in the draw circle in this quarter. It's just tough to be able to mount a comeback, because as soon as the team scores a goal on you, they just resume their offense, because, you know, Ravenio or Caples or, you know, you've seen Foster in there as well in the draw, just mopping up the ground balls, putting a lot of good effort in the draw. So that's allowed the Generals just to keep the foot on the gas. It seems like Gettysburg have had 1 or 2 possessions this entire quarter, and it's been sort of like you had the turnover from forward, which Daly was unable to convert, and then you had, you know, another turnover in the offensive end that turned into a possession for Gettysburg, but nothing on the score sheet, obviously.
Juliet Deverin will come in and replace Jillian Cortez in net for Gettysburg, as Cortez has made just 1 save here in the second half on 7 shots she's faced.
Yeah, I mean, the day started off very well. Not really surprised to see this change.
Just looking for anything over the last 9:01, now down 6.
Yeah, looking for answers right now if you're Gettysburg. Again, I don't think Cortez is, by any stretch of the imagination, the primary reason that her team is down by this much, but yeah, man, that's another win on the draw for Washington and Lee.
Ravenio with it into the zone. Still loose. Bishop just chips that one forward. And instead it comes right back to Gettysburg. Greveld into the zone here for the Bullets.
This is where you've got to use your best players, your best sets. Washington Lee, though, now has Caples guarding Basso. Can probably contend a little better with their speed than Doyle has been able to throughout this game. I like this adjustment from the middle coaches.
This one looking for the near post from Crane. It was across the crease.
I think Chronic did have that one covered.
Lauren O'Connell with it. Daly at the goal line behind the net for Basso. Clear out here for Basso, one-on-one against Caples. Looks to the short side. That one, at least Chronic was able to get a piece of to deflect wide. Bull's going to try the same thing. This one, the pass over the middle is broken up.
Yeah, you see how fast Taylor was able to slide over there. You know that Basso wants that short side roll. Taylor was not going to let it happen. And that pass, always a tough one to make in traffic, but another Washington Lee turnover. Taylor's a little slow to get back on defense as well. I think she might have done something to that ankle.
There's a chance for the Bullets, and Passarello's shot just skies out of her stick.
Boy, yeah, I mean, maybe you talk about the weather conditions, but you've got to find the target there.
Daly. Chopped at by both Ford and Raveno, and it's Raveno there.
WNL have turned it over on 2 straight clears. This one's good, though.
Up ahead for McKnight. So with 6:20 remaining here in the fourth and a 6-goal advantage, Washington in full control against number 2 Gettysburg. And the Generals will be content to eat some clock here.
Gettysburg not really pressuring the ball right now. See if that changes as the clock ticks down even lower.
Bishop. Able to kick out for Timoney. Comes around for Thompson. No space in the middle. Pass high for Petrus and out. And that's a WNL turnover.
Yeah, but the good thing for WNL, though, is that turnover came with about just 20 or 18 seconds left on the possession clock. So, I mean, you've taken a lot of time off the clock with that possession. You have a 6-goal lead. Really, you don't need goals here. You just need time off the clock on your offensive possessions. Goals are just going to be a bonus.
Gettysburg brings it ahead. Sullivan will just recollect here and wait for the Bullets to get any sort of offense. Sullivan through the traffic, out in front, Basso. And there's a goal for the Bullets.
Yeah, completely on mark there. Let's see it again if we can see who was supposed to be marking Basso there.
It's the help defense that slides up, and
Yeah,
Basso left alone.
Yeah, Doyle sliding up there, and no one's rotating over. There's got to be a secondary defender coming over from that other side. But it's tough when the rotation has to come from the opposite side of the field. It takes such good communication and just being in line with their teammates. Not so there for WNL defensively.
4:47 left in the fourth. 13-8 our score. WNL still leads by 5.
Yeah, that was a really nice set there drawn up by the Bullets. Haven't been able to get Basso in great areas in the second half.
Draw control win by Gettysburg. McAtee able to come away with it. So Bullets trying to string something together. Connell backs it out. 4.5 minutes remain. Crane upstairs, and Chronic snatches it.
Yeah, Crane has had, I think that's her 3rd shot from that sort of area. And it's either Chronic getting the save or just it being off target.
Caffrey. Long pass up ahead for McKnight.
And Raveno almost laid out for it and took out McKnight because she thought that pass was for her. Yeah, but again, the WNL sideline, some of the WNL players just asking the play just to slow down a little bit. Gettysburg, on the other hand, they've got to start pressuring. As you see Sullivan try to force Foster into a turnover there.
McKnight backs it out. Here's Thompson. This one comes to Petrus off a hop. Able to stay in bounds. Less than 20 seconds left on the possession clock. Thompson behind the net. 3 minutes to play. A 5-goal lead for the Generals. McKnight with less than 10. Just trying to weave her way through. McKnight cutting back to the left. And a bounce shot goes wide. A full 90 seconds offensive possession for the Generals.
Really, the only thing that would have made that possession better was, a goal, but taking a minute 30 off the clock is huge at this point. So you take, there was about, 4 minutes on the clock, so now there's 2.5. So you just took almost half the time off the clock that there was for Gettysburg to try and come back.
Caffrey walks away with that one, and then she takes a tumble. We will have a card handed out. It'll be a green card. 28. Emily Crane hit with the green card. That gets a full 90-second reset with 2:21 left. Now the Bullets really forced to just try and put as much pressure on the ball as possible, even with a player down.
And it's for that reason the Generals can steadily feel this win coming. It's been a difficult start for the season for them. Narrow margins of losing to some very good teams, but it looks like this is going to be their second win of the season.
Thompson looking for the top corner, rings it off the crossbar. And Gettysburg will use a timeout. 1:34 to play.
Timeout, Bullets.
And the Bullets will like to talk things over, trailing by 5.
Yeah, you'd have to think minute 34 left in this game, 5-goal deficit. It's a lot to ask of any team to be able to score, any number of goals, let alone 5 or 6. Obviously, you look at the matchup last year, and WNO was, not exactly in this situation, but they were down pretty late into the game, and they were able to mount, a very furious comeback to come and eventually defeat the Bullets.
Generals trailed by 3 with 1:57 left when Hannah Bishop made it a 2-goal game. They scored twice in the final 30 seconds to tie the game, and then won it in overtime with Jenny Lasovich delivering the game-winning goal in overtime to beat the Bullets. But yeah, Gettysburg was in control by 3 up until 1:57 left. But now down 5 with 1:34 left on the clock. Time is very much not on the side, and you still have to work the ball all the way up from the defensive zone, and even if you score on one, then you have to string together draw control win after draw control win, and just eventually, even if you get a clean win and a quick goal every 10 seconds or so, you're still looking at not that much time on your side.
Yeah, so you're looking at a goal every 18 or 19 seconds here on average. I don't want to say it's not going to happen because it's just nothing good that can come of that as a commentator, but
Lily McAtee bringing it ahead.
yeah, considering it takes them about 10 seconds to clear, that's not going to make things better here.
And a turnover by the Bullets. Libby Ford racing ahead.
Yeah, smart play by Ford. No real need to risk the long pass to Bishop.
Taylor has that one wiped away from behind. It was Daly getting a piece to it. Inside the final minute. O'Connell just trying to make anything happen. The Bullets with just 40 seconds left. Crane all the way under here for Basso. Multiple defenders in her way. She steps through. Cronick gets a piece of that one, and Doyle picks it up. She'll leave it off for her goalie, and Cronick and the Generals and try and wind out the final 20 seconds. This one will bounce its way all the way down in the corner, but as the final seconds tick off the clock, Washington and Lee takes down number 2 Gettysburg. 13-8 the final score, as the Generals avenge the loss that ended their season last season here at Watt Field against the same Bullets.
Yeah, I mean, it was a roar really to start off. It was really competitive. You never knew which way this game was going to go. But in that third quarter, what a third quarter it was for Washington and Lee. You thought Gettysburg had clawed all the way back, but stretching the lead back down to 3, or back out to 3, excuse me, and in that fourth quarter, really just keeping the pedal on the floor, just able to really stamp their dominance on their home field. I mean, this is a huge bounce-back win for a team that might have been lacking in some confidence. You know, they lose to Tufts, they lose to Salisbury, they lose to CNU, with their only win being against F&M on their home field, but to open their season. So a really important performance, a really important win for the Generals going forward as they get ready for ODAC play and, of course, try to make more inroads into that national ranking.
So Gettysburg will take their first loss of the season. They lose by 5, 13-8. You talked about, some of those slim margins. The Generals had lost, their last 3 games all by a combined 7 goals. 2-goal loss to Tufts, 2-goal loss to CNU, 3-goal loss to Salisbury. All nationally ranked opponents come back and play the number 2 team in the country at home and beat them by 5.
Yeah, and I think that's part of it is just being back on your home field. I think, after coming off of a tough trip to Boston, and then a tough couple of road games, it's really something just to be able to stay on campus, sleep in your own bed, and just be able to come together as a team and just to lock in for the most important game of the season, really, up to this point. So it was in that second half you saw how important the Generals, team chemistry was, just to be able to come together as a group, really defend as a team, attack as a team, and beat one of the best Division III women's lacrosse programs in the country this year.
So Washington only gets to 2-3 on the season. They'll play home again next Friday against Catholic. 6:30 start to that one, and we'll have it here for you on the Washington Lee Sports Network. They do have 2 more games in between then, Sean. They play 2 games on Tuesday at Bridgewater at 4 o'clock, and they followed up with a nightcap at 7 o'clock in Harrisonburg against Eastern Mennonite with a couple of conference games.
Yeah, and for the and in terms of the conference, obviously, you say this every year, right? Washington Lee has been dominant in the ODAC since the beginning of the Stone Age, but it's still something you've got to take care of. It doesn't feel good to be the absolute favorite in the conference and then drop games, let alone not be able to win a trophy at the end of the season. So, but as long as Washington Lee keep their focus in the conference, it's looking like hopefully another run in the national tournament. It's been, you would have to think that Washington Lee have their sights set high, but they haven't been able to get to the national championship game as Gettysburg has. They haven't obviously been able to win a national championship, and for teams, I mean, both Gettysburg and Washington Lee, your eyes are not only on your conference trophy, but to win it all at the end of the postseason as well. But it all starts at the beginning of the season. It all starts in your conference schedule as well.
So Washington Lee with a big 5-goal win over number 2 Gettysburg, 13-8 to get to 2-3 in the young season. That'll wrap it up for us here at Alston Parker Watt Field on the campus of Washington and Lee University. The Generals got a 5-point afternoon for Hannah Bishop on 3 goals and 2 assists. 4 first-half goals from Alex Petrus. 9 saves in net for Caroline Cronick as they beat number 2 Gettysburg 13-8 to get to 2-3 on the young season. They'll be on the road for 2 games on Tuesday, 4 o'clock at Bridgewater. They'll have nightcap at 7:30 over at Eastern Mennonite. Their next home game will be on Friday, March 15th, a 6:30 start here at Watt Field. For Sean Lee and all of us here at the Washington Lee Sports Network, I'm Ryan Connell saying thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. We'll see you on Friday night when Catholic comes to town to take on W&L. But number 9 Washington and Lee knocks off number 2 Gettysburg 13-8 the final here in Lexington.